Hey everyone, it's Rambling Hour with Lisa, season 18, episode 9. I don't know why I'm crooked here instead of in the middle. You can see my hair is fuzzed out. This is what I look like on a typical day. Sweatpants, t-shirt. Didn't feel like putting on socks and shoes today. And I mean, I could try and put I was thinking I needed to do my roots again. And sometimes when my ponytail's too loose, my glasses don't sit in my hair right. So, but yeah, most days I don't get ready and my hair just gets fuzzy. So I could wet it and flatten it as well, which I sometimes do before my lives. But I kind of liked the loose ponytail look, but it, like I said, it doesn't hold on my glasses very well. So I'll try and do it tighter. But yeah, I didn't want to do my hair because, well, I need to do my roots. And today, the last few days have been like down days. Just, I don't know, it's week 3. So that might have something to do with it, which means that my emotions might be more emotional in week 3. But also, I don't know, it's just down days. So I've been kind of humdrum, just walking around, getting some things done, but not feeling like much the last few days. So that's why I didn't do a whole get ready thing. I thought a good place for us to, you can see my ring light in the reflection. I thought a good place for us to sit today would be in front of the greenhouse. There's 2 different types of roses that are blooming here. There is a 3rd rose behind me, but it doesn't have any blooms on it right now. It's more of like a dark magenta. And then the hydrangea, I think it's called Limelight, and it starts as a lime green, goes to white, and then goes to pink for the autumn. It's pretty cool. And that's on this side. So what have I been doing with my week? Just the normal. I don't know if I should pull you in or which way I should. So I've just been listening to a lot of, this is broken too, so it keeps, and my lawn is curved, so it keeps wanting to face you towards the stream. I've been listening to a lot of books. See, you're going towards, I don't want to spill my drink or my rose that I'll show you in a minute. Where, so is that too, I don't know if that's too far now. I'll sit here. And then you can still see the ring light in the greenhouse, and that's annoying. What if I zoom in a little bit? Okay, so now that we're done all of that, you can still see the 2 roses that I wanted you to see. You can see a bit of the greenhouse. But how is everybody? How has your week been? What's new with you? Let's see how much time I just wasted doing that. Oh, I better not touch things. 6 minutes. And I was 5 minutes late. But speaking of which, I don't know if you're going to be able to see much of a difference yet. Yeah, so much muscly. Look at that. Actually, that's pretty good. Especially for the fact that I haven't been using the weights during my fitness because of this, which is really good. It needs cream on it right now, but you can see that. That's what, is it 3 weeks now? 4 weeks? I can't even remember. And it's healed really well. So I'm almost ready to start weights with my workout. My workout, let's talk about that real quick. So I'm on day 14 today. On the weekends, I don't do yoga. I just do that Monday to Friday. And so I'm just doing the shred, which is 20 minutes. 25 if you include the warm up and cool down. But that's actually 18 minutes of workout, which we've talked about. So today's day 14, so 2 weeks of me doing that. And because it's 3 levels, in the past I've done 10 days at level 1, and then 10 days at level 2, and then 10 days at level 3, and then start over, but increasing my weights and getting more into the poses and stuff like that as I become stronger. However, with this and just feeling a little bit less, some of my strength is better than I thought it would be, but my endurance is still was still lacking. So I've stayed at level 1 for the last 13 days, and I'm going to stay at level 1 for probably the first 30 days, and then we'll see what I do from there. But maybe I'll do level 2 for 30 days, level 3 for 30 days. I have no idea. But right now I'm just sticking with level 1, especially until I start doing the weights with level 1. So working out, it's going good. Again, like I told you guys last week, I can't believe how, like, my yoga is 20 minutes a day, Monday to Thursday, and then, I mean Monday to Friday. And then the shred is, again, without the warm up and cool down, which is only a couple minutes, it's 18 minutes of working out in a day. And it's just challenging enough to be hard and make you, you know, feel it, but not too hard that, you know, anybody can do it. So I'm really happy with it. I'm happy with the fact that I'm doing it. And I haven't done it yet today, but like I said, it's only 20 minutes. There's no reason that I can't fit it in. It's probably the most important 20 minutes of my day at this time. And yeah, I'll be doing it after I'm done my live here. But I've been listening to a lot of books, and I've been listening to a lot of the books that I took pictures of a few years ago. So I'm going to go over the books that I've read with you in the last week. First, I want to show you, you can't see on the table here, but I had them out on display, and depending on how my camera moved around, it might have caught a glimpse of them. But these are my little ladybirds, or ladybugs if you live in North America, that Erica painted for me because she said she said it's like COVID. She's just wandering around trying to find things to do. She just had her birthday. She just turned 17, but she's still an artist and creative. So she made me those. She signed them underneath. She used, like, I think some type of markers, but they're not, I don't know where I'm going to put them, but I don't want them to fade too quickly, or if you put them outside, like rain and weather. So, and then the rose behind me, the center rose, because I said there's 3, just one of them doesn't have blooms out right now, but I see it has more buds on it, so it's going to bloom. But the rose this one was hanging, like, down. It got bent somehow, probably a bird or something like that. Smells very nice. It's got a little bit of damage on that side, but I thought I would have this as a, oh yeah, it does. It smells so good. Like a candy kind of smell. Like in between rose and candy. So I thought I would have that on my table to look nice too, but you can't really see my table. And Mom says, hi Lisa. Hi Mom. And then my drink, which I'm going to have a sip of, and then we'll get to the books. Now I'm going to flip this over, or set this on the ground. I'm going to start with the biggest book first, because then I can put the smaller ones on top of it. This book, I do love photography books, and I have a few of them. This one is one that, okay, this one incorporates a few different things. Photography, gardening, and because we've talked about it before, it talks about like culture and history, and this one's Traditional African American Gardens, Places for the Spirit. Photographs by Von Sills, foreword by Hilton Als. So it is a beautiful book, the foreword and everything, and the explanation. Like, I wish I could just read all of it to you, because it tells you so much of what is in this book. But I'll just read you the synopsis. And I have read this book before and looked at the pictures, but I brought it out again. It was calling to me, and I wanted to see it again. There's the back. So you can see the work of the photography is portraits, but also some of the gardens, and they have their own style. And if I could read the whole intro to you, you'd understand why these gardens matter, how few there are left, and there's just so much cultural importance in them. It says at the back, looking at these black and white images sometimes feels like dropping paper flowers in a glass of water and watching them expand. Von Sills' images make the mind expand like a rose, fragrant with vision. Her humility in the face of the order she finds in these various gardens is touching and enlightening. How ironic or fate is it that that's her explanation of it, and I have this beautiful rose in bloom right now. So, expanding your mind like a rose. Okay, so it says, Places for the Spirit. Places for the Spirit is a stunning collection of over 80 fine art photographs of African American folk gardens and their creators. In Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, through her patient search up and down small town streets and dusty rural roads, award-winning photographer Yvonne Sills has unearthed an important element of American landscape that is quickly disappearing. These landscapes have a unique historical significance due to the design elements and spiritual meanings that have been traced to the yards and gardens of American slaves and further back to their African heritage. In the spirit of outsider art traditions, the roots of blues music and other folk manifestations, these gardens have a unique aesthetic and cultural significance. The gardens are places to socialize and be creative, but they also have mystical purposes. Bottles and plant pots are put on tree branches or intentionally placed in the garden to capture evil spirits. Pipes are placed vertically in the ground to allow the spirits of ancestors to communicate with the living. And the deceptively casual or whimsical arrangements are subtle and symbolic reminders of the divine in everyday life and the cycles of the natural world. Places for the Spirit is a powerful testament that adds greatly to our understanding and appreciation of a vanishing element of African American culture. And like I said, the foreword and the, I don't know what she calls it, let's see, the preface, yeah, the foreword and then the preface just tells you so much about them. And then even when she starts getting into the photos, she gives like one page is a photograph and the other page will be a little bit of a blurb on what you're seeing and whose it is. And like I said, there's some really nice portraits in there too. And I was thinking of that too. I haven't done photography in a long time, but I would love to get like I love portraits of people, just the way they are, the way they look. And actually it's funny that I opened to this page because I was wondering this too. Do you want something that looks more timeless, which I'll show you, or do you want like the picture was taken in 1993, but his jumper or sweatshirt is 1996 Olympics, and then like it's just capturing someone in their actual everyday, self. And I was thinking, do I want it to be more timeless or what? But I love portraits when it catches people just as they are. Not all the makeup, not all the... That's funny, when I saw this one, I was like... I realized he's black and I'm not. I'm white. But when I saw it, I just thought, hey, Dad, because it looks like especially my dad in later years, just little... I don't know, it reminded me of my dad. But there's one I was going to show you that's more timeless. It's really sweet of two friends in the... but I shouldn't show you all of them because that's what the book is for. Oh, yes. Oh, some of these people, you can see so much in their face. And so I was thinking of doing, starting to do portraits of people, but just in their own environment, in their own... It's like the ones that my sister-in-law took of my brother, some of the last pictures of him. It was him in his garage with his Metallica shirt on, his biker beard, and it was just him, just exactly who he was. Wait, that's the lady, isn't it? Where's the one with her and her friend? Hang on. I'll find it and then I'll be done with this book. But I really love this book. And I like photography books where you can come back to them. And it also makes me appreciate and miss things about North America too. Things that you don't see over here in the gardens and in the houses here. Okay, let me sit down and find it. And then I'll show you. If you guys have anything else you want to talk about. Okay, that's writing. So picture. It's kind of like when I have this picture of my mom and dad when they're planting seeds in their garden in their backyard, and it was just a natural picture of them actually doing it, but it's a really nice, cute picture. I'll put it up on Facebook. I'll put it in the comments, but we know that these videos are deleted after 30 days, and really sadly, all my lives now from Facebook have been deleted. I have a copy of them all, thank goodness, but they've all been deleted on there, so I have the option of re-uploading them, and then they won't get deleted because they won't be lives. They'll be videos that I've uploaded, or putting them on YouTube. But as I've told you guys, I'm waiting for the girls. I'm having a meeting with them tomorrow, whether they like it or not, to make me some music. And then I want to reverse them, because you know how you guys see the writing backwards right now when it's actually live. So when I put them on YouTube, I'll flip them so the writing will be the right way, and a title and the music, and then I'll put them up on. So this picture here, just a really cute picture of them together in the garden, and I just love Timeless. And yeah, so I was thinking of getting the old camera out, or doing some, even if I use my phone, doing some portraits. Yeah, otherwise I'll also share a link to a friend that I've known for yonks, like teenagers, or even longer, because he lived right near me, Jerry Cadero, and he's a photographer, and he has done a lot of portraits, and just the great work that he does, but also the style that I really like with portraits, of catching people's realness, right? I just love it. So, all right, let's go over the ones that I printed off, and I'm going to try and remember what I thought of the books, because they're in the same genre, in the spiritual realm. A lot of them are not samey, but it's not gonna, it's like, I should write a synopsis down of what I thought of the book right after I'm done listening to it. But this one, Into the Unknown by Harvey Day, I really, really liked. I'm gonna read you the synopsis, and then I'll tell you, because it'll jog my memory probably, but I know I really liked it, and it was different than the other ones. Okay, so Into the Unknown by Harvey Day. The author has for many years been a student of and a writer about the occult. During this time, he has collected together a great number of authenticated happenings that do not conform to rational explanation. This book contains a selection of these, such problems as what is time, seeing into the past, the sixth sense, second sight, and telepathy. These problems have perplexed mankind from the time he started thinking. This collection provides an absorbing and stimulating book. I really did. I liked it because it went into more, like it says, like what is time. So it was not just spiritual, but it was scientific too, and then the crossover, and it was just really well done. It was really put together. It kept my attention a lot. So there's two that I listened to or whatever that are a bit, they're like more like pamphlet-y. They're small books, so booklets. Yeah, booklets. And this is one of them. So I'll do this first. Oh, well, okay, maybe this way. It's called Hints on Spiritual Unfoldment by Ursula Roberts. And, oh, there is a little bit of a little bit. I thought there wasn't, but there's nothing on the back. But there is. So, dear friend, try to feel that this little book is like a warm, friendly hand held out to you in understanding love, in an endeavor to draw you upward on the pathway. Try to remember that one step at a time will most certainly lead to other steps, and little by little is a motto which has been of help to all kinds of people in all sorts of difficulties. In your darkest moments of disappointment, comfort yourself with the remembrance that I have known similar dark periods of discouragement, and so has every saint, seer, and mystic living in heaven or on earth. So writes Ursula Roberts, who also highlights such areas as disciplining one's daily life, sacrifice, changing the consciousness, meditation, prayer, and other vital subjects. The spiritual life, she says, is one of self-discipline, but not necessarily of self-torture. The idea that a holy person must live alone, ignoring all the beauties and blessings of the world, often leads to nothing more than spiritual pride, which is one of the subtle pitfalls created out of the love of being different from other people. People are not necessarily spiritual who delight in the wearing of odd-looking apparel, are undully fatty about their foods, and continually proclaim their beliefs in loud voices. Yeah, so it could be the most omnious person that you think of that could be spiritual. Like, it's like say the same thing about me identifying as a witch. You see me like this, you're not going to be like, oh, she's a witch. So it's the same thing. You can't tell by looking at somebody if they're spiritual or not. There is going to be the people who are all like, oh, I'm so spiritual and I do this and that and have crystals everywhere and everything else. And I mean, it doesn't matter what area of life that's in. Those people who just overdo it to a point of like, it just, yeah, I just don't, it is almost fake. And like they said, pride, like just be who you are. And part of you will be spiritual, even if it's a organized religion or not. Okay, so I'm actually going backwards because 3 of these books were before that one. So the other one that was like pamphlet-y, and this is the one that doesn't really have a synopsis. It's called The Gateway by Edward Eade. It's what to say about it. It's similar in that it has sections of like again talking about time and different aspects of it, and it was informative, but it was more of a booklet, and so but it still was a good introduction to different areas, so I did enjoy it. It's just that, like I said, a lot of these are similar in or stuff that I already know, so unless it really stands out, then I'll let you know. Speaking of which, this one did. It's called RHwL Last of Britain's Witches by Malcolm Gaskill. Now, he wrote it without taking sides. He wasn't saying that she was guilty or innocent, but let me see what it says about. First, I'll tell you about the author, and then I'll tell you the synopsis for the book. Malcolm Gaskill teaches history at Cambridge University, where he is fellow and director of studies at Churchill College. He specializes in the history of witchcraft and popular beliefs, and is the author of Crime and Mentalities in Early Modern England. And there's a picture of them, but I can't remember what year this book is, but some of them are older than others. So, RHwL. Private seances at which spirits are said to return from the dead were once more of a public affair. In darkened back rooms, cellars, and halls across early 20th century Britain, thousands of people went to the spooks, hoping to see mediums manifest ghostly forms. For many working class Scott Helen Duncan, nicknamed RHwL as a child, was the best there had ever been. But fame turned to infamy early in 1944 when she was tried at the Old Bailey under the 1735 Witchcraft Act and sentenced to 9 months in prison. Now, if I'm not mistaken, she's actually the last person convicted of the Witchcraft Act in Britain. But this was in 1944, which to some younger people might seem like a long time ago. To some other people, it isn't that long ago. It was one of the most sensational episodes in wartime Britain. Why did the trial occur just weeks before the Normandy landings? Why was Helen Duncan gaoled for summoning spirits when mediums were usually fined as petty frauds? And what actually happened at the seances to impress so many respectable people, more than 40 of whom testified as defense witnesses at her trial? Was she in fact a conjurer, a mystic, a con artist, or even a spy? To spiritualists, Helen Duncan was a martyr. To the state, she became a security risk. Her life story is a broth of wartime anxieties, legal I don't know how to say this. Hang on. Deviousness, science, and pseudoscience. Conspiracy, politics, and sheer entertainment. But she was also the focus of one of the oldest and most difficult questions of all. What happens when we die? It was the question of the age for a generation which had lived through the slaughter and sorrow of 2 world wars. Malcolm Gaskill has uncovered a fascinating and poignant story of an ordinary woman thrust onto an extraordinary public platform on which vaudeville-style get-togethers clattered headlong into the opposing forces of church and state, determining to declare Helen Duncan a witch. So the thing is, it goes with, like, without saying, like, that, you know, fraud should be something that people get charged with if they're actively found to be fraudulent. But giving your money to someone who claims to be a medium or something like that is no different than, I would say, gambling or anything else. You know that your chances when you gamble, that you know that you're giving your money to something that you might not get what you want in return, which is to win. But you're making that decision on your own. And so I don't think there's going to be fraudulent people out there, no doubt. But and it's also like religion. So if you go to a type of church or place of worship and you're giving your hard-earned money to that place of worship to believe in whoever you're believing in there, is that not a form of fraud as well, if that's not the one true religion, as if there is one true religion? Like, it really depends on what you consider fraud to be. Luckily now, spiritualism is more of its own type of belief system and culture, so that you can't be tried for it. And again, I'm not opposed to trying people if they're found of actually frauding people, but it's just really sad that she was trying to give a service to people and they demonized her. You may have learned, I mean, I remember hearing about this specifically, so this is who she is, but I do remember that at one of the seances, she had told somebody that her son or somebody she knew had perished on a ship, a warship, and that he was coming through. But the military hadn't let anyone know that that warship had gone down yet, because it affected their place in the war or something like that. So the fact that she had knowledge that wasn't released yet made the authorities worried about what she could potentially, you know, be able to see or whatever. So there's theories that that's one of the reasons that she was charged. And then there was the whole, not only like charging her, but charging her, they didn't charge her with fraud or something like that. The fact that they actually wanted to condemn her under the Witchcraft Act, which even at that time was, a lot of people were like how barbaric is that? So it's a really, really, really good book. I enjoyed it, and lots of, like, some of the information that he gets is from her actual kids and grandkids, and like, it's probably, I haven't read anything else on her, but I'm guessing it's one of the best books about her because of the research that he did and the sources that he had to write about her. So I would suggest that one. Is very interesting. And like I said, he didn't take a stance on, was she guilty, was she innocent. He didn't take a stance on is spiritualism real, is it not. It was just more of like a fact-based, this is what happened, this is the history, this is the history before that, do you agree, do you not agree, and everything else. So okay, so these three I listened to even before those ones, but I put them in the wrong order on my papers. So this one is Tony Stockwell, Embracing Eternity, the amazing truth about life after death that will change your world. It's hard to see the writing because it's blue, so I might have to do another picture of it, like from the internet. Now, I've heard of Tony Stockwell, don't really know him. There's lots of mediums out there that obviously will have books. You guys have heard of Sylvia Brown, which I talked about last week. You've heard of John Edward, probably. You've probably heard of the Long Island Medium. So really, there's like a lot of mediums that just, you know, are out there, and then they have books come out. So because Feathers had a bunch of them, I just took pictures of some of them, and you know, just another series. And I like it. Again, it's samey, and it's samey, but also like a lot of these mediums, they have to go through so much of what is what, so that if this is the first book you've ever picked up about this type of stuff, they give you the general of what to expect and what means what and everything else. Whereas to me, I already know those things, so it's annoying to have to, like, I just want to get to the meat and bones of it. I like their experiences and their personal interpretation and everything else. But it is a good book. Tony Stockwell is transforming millions of people's ideas about life after death. In this extraordinary book, he takes the reader on a journey that proves beyond doubt that we do not really die, but progress into a new life. With the help of Tony's amazing insight into the spirit world, we can learn how to embrace eternity and discover how, in the process, our present lives will never be the same again. Understanding that this life is only one of many, and that how we live it affects the lives to come, brings new meaning to what happens to us. Embracing eternity will change the way you think about this life and the life hereafter, forever. Tony Stockwell discovered his amazing gifts as a child and has been working as a psychic medium since the age of 16. He has appeared in several TV series, including Street Psychic, Psychic School, and Psychic Detective, and is the best-selling author of Spirited, also available from Mobius. So, yeah, another medium story. But, again, it was a good read. I would say get it from the library. It's not one that I would say go and buy, but if you come across it, definitely worth a read. Okay, this one here is an oldie, Facts Not Fiction by W.R. Cross. So, this is, Do People Die? The so-called dead are responsible for this book. The author has reported facts. He has not indulged in pages of conjectures, suppositions, or comments, but has set out what was presented by dead people who spoke to him, and the strange, exciting, and enlightening experiences which arose. None have been embellished. He leaves it to the reader to reach his own conclusions. The following books about the healing work of surgeon William Lang through his trance medium George Chapman are available from Lang Publishing, Healing Hands, The Return of Dr. Lang, Surgeon from Another World. So it was a surgeon who is on the other side, and he would work through the medium and like healing hands and helping people to heal. The second impression arose from requests for additional copies and for the replacement of worn copies. Requests then followed from the organizers of Michael Chapman's healing centers. One man discovered the book in Birmingham's library. It appeals to him because it's a book written for ordinary people by an ordinary person. Ray Cross died in March 1983, the year following the first impressions publication. So, yeah, I don't have an original copy, but it's still definitely worth the read. That one is a good one, especially if you want to learn about that of healing. This one is different. Again, with feathers, they would have had all these things that were given to them, and you know, that's one of the reasons I got rid of some of them, is because they don't have room in their homes to keep everything. But this one was different, but in the same, I mean, I do even have some books about these types of things too that are on. Obviously, if I want to read every book I own, I'm going to read those books too. But this isn't my typical regular read, but I really enjoyed it. But this is A Complete Guide to Fairies and Magical Beings by Cassandra Eason. And yeah, so I haven't read a lot about fairies and different magical beings, but it was interesting that after I finished this book that night, I had dreams of little magical beings, and they were like, it was like little dolls sort of and they would come to life, and it was weird that I dreamt about something, little creatures, the night of after I read this book. Or maybe not so weird because I read the book, right? Or listened to the book. About the author, Cassandra Eason is a well-known author and broadcaster on psychic and spiritual experiences, folklore, and superstitions. She teaches different aspects of psychic development and is the author of several best-selling titles, including Psychic Families, The Mammoth Book of Ancient Wisdom, The Psychic Power of Children, and Discover Your Past Lives. Her books for Pittacus include Angel Magic, Becoming Clairvoyant, A Complete Guide to Magic and Ritual, A Complete Guide to Psychic Development, A Complete Guide to Divination and Pendulum Dowsing. See, I'm not going to go out and get all of her books, but I enjoyed this one. A Complete Guide to Fairies and Magical Beings introduces you to the enchanting world of these beautiful and powerful creatures. From wood nymphs to Lorelei, goblins to pixies, Cassandra Eason explores fascinating fairy myths and legends from around the world and shows you how to unlock fairy energy and magic for yourself. You will discover stories and myths associated with fairies and the fairy kingdom, ways to find the hidden world of the fae beings, fascinating case studies of individuals who have seen the little people, the healing and transforming power of fairy energy, an almanac listing all the different types of fairies. If you have ever believed in a world beyond the everyday, this is the book to help you find it. Something I did like about the book too is that she didn't just include fairy tales from European countries. She actually went and talked about different little beings and different folklore and that kind of stuff from all over the world, and what they have in their areas or regions, what they call them, what they would see, you know, and what those little beings would do for them, or, you know what I mean, and how they interacted. So I did really enjoy that one. And this one is dirty. What is that? Is that dirty or am I? Yeah, it's got something on it. It's not coming off on the S. But anyways, Skull and Pestle by, well, it says New Tales of Baba Yaga, anthology edited by Kate Wolford, because even it's edited by Kate Wolford because it says New Tales of Baba Yaga. So I thought that was a good idea, and I bet there's lots of, so if you take like, say somebody like Hercules, which is a god, or even, well, Baba Yaga is there to teach you, right? I've told you guys before, are you here to, what does she say? Are you here to, I don't know, something like, are you here to gain knowledge or run from it? So she, you know what I mean? She can help you, or she can, but you have to be willing to help yourself. So it's cool to take a figure like Baba Yaga and then have new stories of people who would go to Baba Yaga's hut or encounter her in some way, and then have the difference between helping her, helping themselves, and, you know, whatever they're going through in life. So that's what this is stories that have been collaborated into this book that aren't the traditional ones that you would read in most of the Baba Yaga books. So I thought that was really cool, and I would look forward to even more stories like that, or even writing a story like that. So that was, I really enjoyed that. Let me read the synopsis. She can be the enemy of your nightmares or the spirit guide to your dreams. Her hair is wild and gray, her teeth are made of iron, and she travels using a giant mortar and pestle, and lives in a shack on chicken feet, surrounded by a fence of skulls and bones. She is Baba Yaga, a crone who ruthlessly uses the needy and greedy for her own devices. And in this anthology of new stories starring Baba Yaga, she lands in some spectacular scenarios. A Jewish resistance fighter in World War II Poland must gain the help of Baba Yaga to vanquish 3 supernatural men and avenge the loss of her comrades. A young mother leaves her family to serve the witch in penance for committing a terrible wrong. One story delves into Baba Yaga's tragic origins, while another re-examines the classic tale of Vasilisa, following the young girl who comes to Baba Yaga for fire on her own journey from maiden to mother to crone. One tale transports the witch from the forests of Russia to the swamplands of the American South, expertly weaving together Slavic and African American folklore, and another brings her right into the modern day, as a young boy goes looking for a witch to put a spell on a school bully and gets more than he bargained for. So you can see how they're more up, like, even in the time period, they're not just the traditional Baba Yaga stories that have been told for generations. These are more same lady, same teacher, but different stories. So I liked that one, and I'm glad to say I own that one. And lastly, I read this listened to it a few weeks ago, but I kept forgetting to show you guys. It's Steve's book, and even when he got it a few years ago, he said that I would really enjoy it, and I took pictures of it a few years ago, meaning to read it, but never got around to it, and I did really enjoy it. I forgot that not only was he a doctor, but that he was a obstetrician, I think. So, and that the stories have to do with a lot with that. That's what he worked in his obstetrics in his life. But you may or may not have heard of it. Does it say it's the award-winning Sunday Times #1 bestseller? Let's see what year this was, though. And there's a podcast that comes after it as well. There's a lot of reviews in the front here. I'm not going to read you all the reviews. 2017, 2018. So it's called This Is Going to Hurt: Secret Diaries of a Junior Doctor by Adam Kay. Merwin says, if it could be possible, put the covers in comments, the screen just like a mirror, or hold the book for at least 10 seconds. And thanks for sharing, dear Lisa. Merwin, I will actually, I'll take screenshots of my live and I will put them on. I'll tag you in it too so you can see all the books. I know I hold it up like this and then I'll take a screenshot, but I will put them in. I can put them in the comments, but my video gets deleted after 30 days, but I will put them on my regular Instagram and Facebook, so you will see them. So this book, Book of the Year in 2017 by Books Are My Bag Readers Awards. If you read one book this year, make it this one, says the Daily Express. 97-hour weeks, life and death decisions, a constant tsunami of bodily fluids, and the hospital parking meter earns more than you. Welcome to the life of a junior doctor. Scribbled in secret after endless days, sleepless nights, and missed weekends, Adam Kay's diaries provide a no-holds-barred account of his time on the NHS frontline. Hilarious, horrifying, and heartbreaking. This is everything you wanted to know and more than a few things you didn't about life on and off the hospital ward. So funny and important it should be given out on prescription, says Guardian. As hilarious as it is heartbreaking, says Charlie Broker. A funny, excruciatingly revealing, beautiful book, Dawn French, with extra diary entries and a new afterword by the author. It is actually, like he said, beautiful and funny and heartbreaking because not only, okay, like Canada is similar to here with NHS, like where we have the, not free healthcare, but you know what I mean, free healthcare for citizens, but they're overworked, underpaid, understaffed, and it's exhausting what they're expected to do and what they're expected to go through, and it depletes them emotionally and everything. It's like going in war on the front lines and not having any kind of support when you get back and just being expected to be a robot and do it over and over and over again. It's really sad and unfortunate that we don't take care of our essential workers, like our health workers and stuff, better, because when they burn out or they quit, then that's it. There's not enough people even doing the job, let alone to push the ones that are doing it to a point where we lose them, right? Like it is heartbreaking. And the fact that this book was written in 2017, 2018, that was before the pandemic. That was before like COVID and the fact that the NHS is even worse now. So, I mean, yes, I wouldn't want to live in the States where they don't have any health care and it's getting worse there too. But, and I commend what we have in Canada and what we have here. But I also am appalled by government and such to not do more for our workers, and especially as someone who doesn't get free NHS, because we have our visas, we actually pay like 600 and something pounds every 2.5 years when we apply for our visa per person. So it's not totally free, is it, for me as an immigrant? But I always try it when I go to the doctors or when I go to the hospital like this and everything else. I always try to like thank them and explain to them like that I appreciate them and what they're doing, and like, 'cause I just feel so bad for them. It's such an important job and they're not treated the way that they should be treated. It's heartbreaking. I'm gonna have a sip of my drink. I am still listening to more books, but I'm also like trying to maybe not wear my headphones all the time and just tune into life and stuff. And I also want to start meditating. So some people will, like when you're doing dishes or going for a walk, or you're in the zone that your mind is just open and free and you're not really thinking of like overthinking things, that's a type of meditation. So even if you're sewing or doing art, or if you like working on vehicles and you're working on vehicles, just something that you're in the zone, right? That can be a form of meditation. But and then you have like guided meditations where you like turn on or have someone in person like guiding you, saying you're sitting on a beach and you're doing this and now this, where it's guided. But my type of meditation that I want to do, well, partly is, like I said, taking off the headphones and just while I'm gardening and everything else, listening to the birds, listening to the waterfall in our garden, listening to the train going by. I actually like living next to train tracks, and just experiencing life. But I also want to like sit down, clear my mind, bring myself to a nice spot like a beach or a seat in the garden or wherever, and just let whatever happens happen. That's what I do when I go to bed at night too with my dreams. I usually just say, take me wherever you guys want, whatever you want. I don't try to control my dreams. I don't try to think about what I want to dream about. I just let it do its own thing and see where it takes me. And I'm trying to write my dreams down, or even just jotting down a few relevant points to my dreams. So I've been doing a little bit better in the last few weeks. Anything new coming up? I'm getting excited for our trip to Ireland and seeing my mommy and my sister, her husband, and the kids. And so that is coming up. And we just got to get things ready for our guests too. Like I said, my friend Kimber and her husband David are coming as well in August, so we got to get things ready for them, the guest house ready, and just getting things organized and done. Enjoying the summer while it's here, because it's already July 6th, so we're in summer right now, even though there's clouds overhead and I'm like getting chilly out here. We're in the heart of summer right now, so we need to really enjoy it because it's not going to be here for long. And that's all I'm doing, is trying to, like, a lot of times when you're caught up on things in the garden and you're doing things all year round, then in the summertime it's mostly just deadheading, which means cutting off blooms so more blooms come. Deadheading and cleaning up and just, just maintaining and enjoying. This is the time that, but because I am behind on things, didn't do stuff in the winter and everything else, I'm still working on things. Plus, if I want to do more projects, like I do want to redo the stream, although I've been looking at it and I'm wondering if I really need to. Do you think it's better with the little trickle of a stream that I have, or should it be a bigger stream? It's the planting too. It's pretty good and wild now, but I don't know. I might want to redo it. However, saying that, and then the bog behind the plunge pool that needs to be done, and like there's always things to do, right? So, I have no idea. What's my point? Oh yeah, so like depending on how many things I have to do, and then repotting things, and there's always stuff to do in the garden. So it's not just a time to just enjoy the garden right now for me. However, it's important to take that time to enjoy the garden. And I am going to end the live with lying down on the carpet of a lawn that I worked my butt off for. Which is why there's still the orange fencing up along it, because I don't want the dog on it, because I've worked so hard on this lawn for years, fighting the dogs and their pee and everything else. In the last few years, putting seed and everything else, I just mowed it before the live, and it is thick, lush. I don't mind the clover in it, and I've worked so hard on this lawn. The photo of, the little Bitmoji, like cartoon of me that I do for the Rambling Hour is showing like me lying on the lawn and just like, because that's kind of the days I've been having. So I'm going to end my live on that as well. And then I got to go do my workout. It's tricky when what she does on the workout is after you're done like most of the things, you do stretches. So you're on the ground and you like put out your legs and stretch, and you do, like this, arms and everything else, but you're sitting on the ground. Then she gets you to stand up and have your leg behind and stretch your legs, but she gets you to stand up, which is very tricky and smart, because you don't just lie on the ground after your workout, like lying there for 20 minutes. She gets you to get up, and then you're ready to move on with your day. So I have my workout to do after that. But yeah, let's just take an appreciation for my little table here with the stuff that I had on it, and this lush lawn. Now I don't know if I have to make you taller I can't, that one doesn't lock anymore because like I said, it's broken. Oh, I'm doing the wrong one. Give me a second. I loosened the wrong one. There we go. All right. we're almost at the hour. Lying on my, can I zoom out because I zoomed in before? So yeah, lying on this lush carpet. It's a bit damp, but look at this lawn. That's not a good angle. That's not a good shot. But I love this lawn. I've worked so hard on this lawn. I love that the dog's not allowed on it, so I can walk bare feet on it and I don't have to worry. I can let the grandkids go on it bare feet and we don't have to worry. And it just makes me happy. Of course, I'd like to have a big field for the dogs to run in and stuff like that. But until then, this is my little patch of heaven. I remember when we first redid the lawn here, we actually got some seed that was like a Canadian blend so that I could have like a little patch of Canada in here. So yeah, I'm really proud of this lawn and I wanted to share it with you guys. And look at this. I'm not huge, but all this is going to be smaller and smaller the more I do my workouts. So let's see, anything else that I can think of? No, I think that's it for today. I can't think of anything else that I have coming up to exciting to tell you guys about. Just getting things ready for guests and going on our trip. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good week and let me know what you're doing. I am planning on having guests and doing other things, but yeah, well, I'll let you know when Mom says, bye Lisa, love you. Love you too, Mom. Have a good week. See you guys later. Enjoy summer. It's going to be gone before you know it. All right. Bye, guys. Love you.